Hello, my name is Amy Brown. I am a candidate for principal certification at Lamar University. I am currently enrolled in EDLD 5311 and I am a member of subgroup P03. This will be my first observation video. I will be observing a classroom from an administrator's perspective. During this observation, I will be looking for objectives clearly posted and stated by the teacher, differentiated instruction, as well as instructional strategies in the classroom, and I will look for overall student engagement as well as technology used in the classroom. I will be observing Mrs. Heather Thames, the Science Department Chair at Crowley High School. She is considered a master teacher among her peers in the area of biology. The class I will be observing today, though, is her pre-AP chemistry class, which holds 31 sophomores. This is their first science class at the high school level, as we hold 10th through 12th grade only. This class will be immediately held after Power Hour lunch, which is a time provided for the students to get extra tutoring. Mrs. Thames has stated that the objective today will be to teach students to find the atomic mass of isotopes in word problems. Mrs. Thames told me that yesterday the students did activities to learn about the atomic mass of isotopes and how to figure out the math, but they did not do this with word problems yet. She said that she will be using her laptop, her whiteboard, and the students will be using their laptops today. These laptops were school provided as an initiative to create a one-to-one technology classroom environment. The students will be using the Blackboard application today to access their assignments, but they will also be provided overhead by Mrs. Thames. She will walk through an example or two, and then they will do some practice problems together. They can work in their groups on these practice problems or on their own. And then at the end of class, she has stated there will be a quiz that will be provided on Blackboard application, but there will also be quizzes on paper for those that have not brought their technology to the classroom. Thank you.
Michaela, ask you a question. You do need to get your spiral, but you're not working in your spiral. Sorry, you don't want me to tell you that.
You have to have break. Can we go out that way so I can go get my stuff back?
Where'd you leave it at? The two. He does math, right? Oh, is it that low short?
Alright, are we on Blackboard? Help me open it up. Alright, I asked you guys a question. Are we ready to go? Because the minute I hit save on this attendance, I'm going to start teaching. So you're going to make sure that you you've done those 3 things before I hit save and start walking towards that board.
Miss Banks,
What?
I did the notes. So
It doesn't matter. Remember, it doesn't matter. Isaiah's out. Okay, so let me go over very quickly what we're doing today. You are not working in your spiral. I'm going to keep y'all on the right pages. So we're going to work on a loose sheet of paper, and then you're just going to staple this over the medium line from yesterday. Okay, so I want this to go together with your isotope notes. So you're working on that loose sheet of paper, then you'll staple it over page 26. Does that answer your question about using your spiral?
Yes.
Okay. You need to keep your spiral on you, and you need to put it in your bag once you staple this page after you're finished, because you do have homework this weekend, so you do need to get your spiral, you need to put it in your bag. Okay, and then the next thing, everybody should have a calculator, something to write with. We're going to start working on that loose sheet of paper. And here's what we're going to be doing today. I'll grab an extra one. Okay? Listen up. We are going to be practicing what are called average atomic mass problems. You started on working on this formula yesterday at the end of the medium line. Okay? So remember when we did percent times mass, percent times mass, percent times mass? Remember what we did yesterday?
Yes.
That's what we did at the end of class yesterday. That's the same formula that you're using today. You're just doing more practice problems. Okay? So you're going to do more practice. I'm going to teach you how to do one. Again. And then you're going to do 3 on your own. And then I'm going to give you a quiz. My quiz is 1 question long. I will explain how it's graded, so don't panic. Okay, a quiz for me is not a test grade. It is a daily grade, and I am just trying to see, did you get what you needed to get that day? I need to know what you got, because this formula is on your test. Okay, so it's my way of giving you guys feedback. That's why it's only 1 question long, because I actually take my time grading those. Right? So make sure you've got those 3 things done. If you want the problems, they're posted on the board, or you can pull them up on my big canvas. Lord, oh my god. Alright, at the end of class, make sure you've got your spiral in your bag. Okay? Alright, so let's get started on question number 1. The good news today, y'all need to stop talking. I don't teach the people who talk. I don't teach the people who talk. Okay. This first problem, all the problems today, please do not write the problem down. Just show your work, okay? Because this is like a paragraph. You're going to need to write that down. Okay? So, before I start on question number 1, I want you to draw your attention here. Okay? So remember, it's percent times mass for every single isotope for that element. What we're trying to figure out is how do you actually calculate the average atomic mass of an element? Where do you get that number from? That number comes from an average of all the isotopes of an element. Do you remember what an isotope was? Isotope is the same element, but they have different numbers of what? Like the mass, yeah. The neutrons are different, therefore they have a different mass. They're still the same element, they just have different masses. So we take an average of those masses by using this formula here to figure out the actual number that goes on the bottom of the periodic table. Okay? So when we did percent times mass, what was that one thing you needed to do before you plugged the percentage in here? There you go. So remember Dr. Pepper, decimal and percentage. To get from a percentage to a decimal, 2 spaces to the left. Before you plug that percentage in there, 2 spaces to the left. Do you do anything with the mass? No. Leave the mass alone. Okay, do not round it. Do not move the decimal. You leave it alone before you plug it in there. Okay? I will tell you the biggest struggle that we're having today. I need phones away. If I see you typing on a phone, that makes me want that phone. Yeah. So make me want that phone. Okay. What was I saying? See? That's why phones distract me. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, the biggest issue. Thank you. Now, the biggest issue I'm seeing today, you guys, is not typing in the numbers in the calculators. Like they just miss 1 number, and that screws the whole thing up. So y'all need to work slow and steady. Okay? It's only 4 problems, so you got time. Alright, so let's dive in. So start writing what I'm writing. Okay? Number 1 says that element X has 4 isotopes. Okay? So each isotope, they give you, Cameron, they give you a percentage and a mass for every single isotope. They give you two numbers, okay? So remember, for every isotope, you do percent times mass, right? What do I need to do with this percentage first? What do I need to do to that number? Make it a decimal. So what is it? It's not 45.50, it's
0.4550.
yeah, 0.4550. Okay, so there's the percentage, right? Times the mass. It gives you the mass. It says has a mass of 310.
Are we supposed to be writing this down?
Absolutely. I'm writing, you're writing. Okay, so percent times mass, that's isotope number 1, correct? So now let's do isotope number 2. It says that isotope, so it says 45.5 weighs 310. 1.12% has a mass of 303.4. So what is 1.12 as a decimal? There you go. A lot of people are like, what do I do if there's not a number in front? You gotta just put a 0 there as a placeholder. So it's 0.0112 as the percentage, and it weighs 303.4. So did y'all see where I'm getting these numbers from? Percent and mass. Percent and mass. Okay, the next one. 26.78%. What is 26.78? What should I write?
0.2678.
There you go, 0.2678. And then the mass is 307.8. Y'all notice? I'm not doing a thing to the mass. I'm just copying it. Not doing anything to it. Alright, and then the last one. Okay, we've run into a problem on the 4th isotope. Okay, it says, and all the rest has a mass of 315. What did they not give us? The percentage. Okay, I will tell you this question is harder than what's on your quiz. You're not going to have to do what we're about to do. So if you're like, what is she doing? Just calm down for a second, right? All the rest weighs 315. So we know the mass, correct? We got that number, but we don't know what percentage it is. Okay? What do all the percentages have to add up to? 100, right? All of them have to add up to 100. So over here to the side, real quick. I'm going to subtract all the percentages that we've already used up. Okay? We've already used 45.5, 1.12, and 26.78. So I'm going to add all those up together. And I'm subtracting them from 100, right? I'm going to subtract them from 100 and see what's left over. You don't need to do this. Okay? It's 26.6. That's what's left over. So the percentage of our 4th isotope is 26.6. What is that as a decimal though?
0.266.
0.266. Good. So I'm going to write that percentage there. So on your quiz, they will give you the percentage and the mass for all of them. You're not going to have to do any side work like that. Okay. You're welcome. All right. So y'all see how many numbers we got here? This is the problem we're having. Because there's so many numbers, there's so much room for error. So work slow and steady. What I've seen today and what's really worked is that the people will figure out what is the number for each parentheses. They'll do it separately and they'll write it off to the side right here. And then once you've got those 4 numbers, you just add them up together to get your final answer. You figure out what the number is inside each parentheses. Yeah, that comes out. That comes out. And then they just write it off to the side over here. So you're going to have 4 numbers, and you just add them all up together to get your answer. Okay? So I want you guys, I'm going to give you a couple minutes. It's going to take a while. Figure it out if y'all can get the right answer. But I will warn you. What do you think the average should be between all these masses right here? Look at what they all are around. 300, right? Do you see how all the masses are around 300? So if you type all this in, you get 800 something. Do you even have to ask me if that's right?
No.
That's definitely wrong. That's nowhere near 300, right? If you get an answer that's like 80 something, are you right? No. But if you get an answer that's like 300 something, you think you're right? Yes. Your answer should be in the 300s because this is an average of these 3 masses, or these 4 masses here. Okay? So I'm going to give y'all a couple minutes to see if y'all can get that answer. Type it in. See if you can get it. Okay? Think you got it? Yeah. You just brought up a good point. You guys, when you're figuring out the answer for each parentheses, do not round. Do not round until you get to the very, very end. Okay? Do not round. So yes, if it's got 5 numbers behind that decimal, write them all down. Was that your questions over here? For you guys? Okay. Oh, snap. Perfect. You got it. Sam got it. Sam, show them how they got it. There is any left here. Is it because you get it? You're good with numbers? Okay, I'm just checking. Did you round? Together at one time? All those numbers that are in So, no, do this. So figure out what this number is. What's this times this? What's this times this? What's this times? So figure out what numbers in each parenthesis. Okay, so 4 numbers. Yes, Kim. Yeah, if you are good, please do 2, 3, and 4. Please do not do number 5. Stop at 4. Yes. Or that, yeah, like you're getting the numbers.
Is that correct?
The parentheses. Look. Yes. Mhm. Let me grab my key, you guys. I don't remember this stuff. Nope, that's wrong. Louise, that's right. We should get 141.05 for that first parentheses. Okay, so they typed in this. Where did they get? Oh, look. This is right there. Yes. You already did it? Okay, can I let him in, please? Hold on, I'll do it in a second. Yes. Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. Yes. You guys are so good at this. Yeah, now you have it.
So this thing runs out your right? The real this thing?
That's good.
D and
Which one?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Would you leave at 64?
all right, you should have done. For this first one? Okay, we're gonna do the next one. Yeah, and like just figure out what the number is and then do the next one and then you're gonna. Is it okay if I say the answer out loud for number 1?
Yes.
Okay, you should get, and if you round in 2 decimal places, which I want y'all to practice rounding to 2 decimal places today, because that's what I want you to round to on your quiz. So some of you already rounded to 310.7. That's okay. You don't need to erase it. I know. I forgot to tell you. But if you rounded to 2 decimal places for that answer, it's 310.67, and the unit for every single answer today is atomic mass units, AMUs. So please make sure you're writing your unit behind your answer. I don't like making numbers. Okay, so start working. Do 2, 3, and 4. So here's number 2. What is this 64 right here? Mass. Thank you.
So then you make mass.
CN-64. 64 is how much it weighs. It's at 48.8 It's zinc, CN, and zinc. Are you okay? You alright? I know.
Let's get used to the shape.
It's the average atomic mass problem.
Try out number 2. Okay, so there's 5 isotopes. Okay. For every single isotope, that's the first one. Okay. And then the next one is 66. No, you already got it.
I know.
Move on to number 2. You add these arms. Yeah. Isotope, so that's 64 times. Okay.
Just pronounce 300. Say 300.
Okay. I want to make sure we're getting number 2 set up right. I'm not going to give you the answer, but I want you to make sure that you're getting that set up right. Okay? So number 2, just make sure we're all on the same page. This right here, that is the mass, and here's its percentage. This is the mass, there's its percentage. Okay? So, do you mess with the mass? No, leave that mass alone. What do you do with those? Every single percentage, no matter how big or small that percentage is, you move the decimal 2 spaces to the left. Okay? So this is 5 isotopes. You're going to have 5 parentheses. Sorry, I'll do percentage first because I know that drives y'all crazy. So first parentheses should look like that. Percent times mass. Right? And keep going. So keep going. There's 3 more parentheses. I'm not going to write it all. I just want to make sure y'all are setting up right. Okay. All right. Let me know when you're done with this. Oh, okay. Alright, I want to verify your answer for 2, 3, and 4 before you are allowed to just sit there and not do anything. The last 10 minutes of class will be the quiz, so you guys have 20 minutes to finish 2, 3, and 4 on your own. Oh yeah, sit. Yep, we better start learning. Perfect.
Get 35, 24.
4. You're a little above. Let me see if I can figure out why. This number's right. This number's right. This number's right. This All your numbers are right. I put them good. 31, 2896. Oops, you forgot the one. It says 8. Yeah, one tiny little number. Yes, sir. Because I don't know what these numbers were, but you're just a little high. So just make sure you get it on number 3, okay? You're close enough, but make sure you're definitely spot on. Yeah, just put something in. 4, which one Alright, AB, what's up? Perfect. That's good. Yes. Yes. Yay. Yeah, it's not a decimal, it's actually I said no matter how small it is. I know, but he was like all trying to be like, oh, it's already this. Not always true. You gotta be able to read a problem.
That's on your quiz? I just thought.
Miss Amy, we're pretty fine. Yep.
Alright, I'm in there just a second.
Oh, wait.
You're not finished. The first one.
Still about to take a 5, right?
Right, so that's the other one.
No, I really
Yes. No. I have them out.
On number 4,
Yeah, you got 5. I only said the first 2. Yeah, there's 5. Yes, Curly?
Would like this is 9, it would be 0.92 times 19.
Yeah, it goes.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes. Page 26 over the medium lab. Guys, I hope y'all are working as much as you're giggling. Alright, good. Okay. Okay, let me grab your attention real quick. Okay, first question I have. What should your answer fall closely to for this problem? Listen. I want to know, what should your answer fall close to?
60s.
Around the 60s, right? Okay, now, it goes from 64 to 70, so how do you know which one is closest to? The one that has the highest percentage is going to affect the average more. So your answer is going to be close to 64 than all the rest of these because it has the highest percentage. That's how y'all can know if your answer is right, without having to ask, okay? You need to be able to check your own answer without having to ask me. So I can't verify your answer on quizzes or tests. Okay? So this is number 2. Make sure you set it up right. I've come around and most of you are getting number 2 right.
That's a very nice shirt.
Wait, I can't see all. I can't see all.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah, those are good. That's awesome. Perfect. Okay, grab one of the staplers up front and staple this page over page 26 in your spiral. 26, and then you can put your spiral on the back. Yes.
Purple crazy,
I like it.
white paint.
I like it. Alright, staple this page over page 26 in your spiral.
But they're all these 3 different color purple.
Yeah, that's what respectively means. First goes to the first line.
I texted her last night when it was
There was 2 of those. Here, you can stay on top of it.
Yeah, you're done.
Alright, now the last one.
I had to get
We're on 26 though.
Okay, another thing I want to draw your attention.
We're
Can I
putting it
do
like
one more time?
under this?
Last time, I swear.
Oh, down here?
Well, for the quiz. You guys, when a question says, or when you're reading something and it says respectively, okay, it means they listed it out in order intentionally, okay? So when it gave you the 3 masses for the 3 isotopes, they gave you the 3 percentages in the next sentence. That means the first one goes to the first mass, second one goes to the second mass. So you'll need to understand what respectively means in that problem. Alright, I need to see 1 through 4 done before that quiz. Y'all got 10 minutes left. 10 minutes. 10 minutes to finish and then staple it in your spiral.
So,
That's what respectively means. But they listed out in order.
Because you know Dylan.
I'll just say
It doesn't matter what number 4 is. Number 4 you match up with.
We don't need our result, right?
no, once you staple that in there on page 26, you can put your spiral. Yep, you're good. So now, keep your calculators because y'all need it for the quiz, obviously.
You won't need it to the tail.
I'm talking about the year that Chris was born in.
Oh, you still have
Yeah, this is right.
90s baby. Ew.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Someone help me in your spiral.
Miriam, can you help her?
No, me, this is
say it.
I know you heard me.
What page? First up. Open up this one.
Ain't no crap. Hey, man.
Here's your updated follow-up. You're welcome. Yeah, there's three of them.
Okay, all three of y'all are done?
No.
Okay, make sure you put AMU behind your answers.
I'm not.
Including unit.
We good? You don't know what page to table it on?
He also takes forever to take tests because he can't drive his car. It took like 30 minutes to take a test, and then you take a test like in 10 minutes. And I was like, so apparently he didn't finish that, so
Poor girl. The test is 50-some questions.
Yeah, you're good. Those are perfect. See that?
The test is like 50-some questions. One of the questions is you need to know her first name. 50-some first name. There's a few questions that are like, how many questions are in the regular test? The answer for that is around like 60-something. Because I think that's how much they were on there last year. Then her first name is Sarah. I didn't know that. One twist.
I just saw that too. My text notification was on. I said, wow, thanks for talking to her. She said, okay.
Well, sure, she did leak it over that.
You better put a bullet in
She did that both times too.
She seriously makes me like, I'm dead serious. I don't care. Like I said, I'm dead serious.
Oh, Miss Pringle. You know you love her. You've been really good.
Hope that was important for you.
Ooh, feisty. So the nicer I am to you, the nicer you're to me?
Alright, we're done.
Wait, is there going to be like a silence in the group during like next period? Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, you know what? Just drink him out of lemon here.
No, it was $2. That was like of his portion. So let's be there. Let's be there.
Got a Baylor sticker? What song?
I just imagine that I imagine the two giraffes that hit each other with their necks. They're like, what's happening? And I'm just like,
Sorry. Don't choke again. Yep, you're choking again. You okay?
yes.
You okay?
Alright, we have 5 minutes to finish
Oh, that's
this
strong.
and staple it into your spiral and then put your spiral in your bag.
You need a drink?
Did y'all hear what I just said?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really strong.
I need like feedback.
It smells good in here now.
Yeah, it smells really good.
Who sprayed that?
It smells like open season.
Sounds like perfume. Maybe. She said I was helping him with period.
I don't know.
Oh, it's my perfume.
I was like, say you can smell it all the way over here. It's strong too. Still something him what? Set up for. I think also was recording.
He's not happy.
Hi, my name is Amy Brown, and this is my post-observation review. I observed Mrs. Thames' class, and just to go over what I observed today, she went over the homework, the supplies. She explained the objective to the students. She told them what they would do together, what she would do to show them how the examples were done, and what they would have to do alone, which was a quiz at the end. She had really good classroom management. At several points she said, "I don't teach to people who talk," and that got the kids to quiet down. She was really good at redirecting students that were off task. She was in the power zone most of the time, just walking around her classroom, making sure students that needed help had help. But she also made sure that students realized that their group members could help them. The way the classroom was set up, she had her objectives on the board. The groups were already set up prior to class. She had supplies out for the students, and they knew where to find their supplies ahead of time. She used various instructional strategies. She made sure they knew the vocabulary, what isotopes were. She also covered basic vocabulary, like respectively, when it was used in the questions. She utilized peer tutoring in the groups. She taught them shortcuts like the DP method. She also modeled, and you could hear her say in the video, "If I'm writing, you're writing," so that they knew to write exactly what she wrote as she figured out the problems. She thought aloud as she was working the problems and had the kids interact with her thinking aloud so that they could start to think aloud themselves. She was very organized. She had visual representations all over the board. And then I also noticed that she used her technology. Several students had their Blackboard applications open on their laptops. There were some students that didn't have laptops, but she provided the instructions on the board with her own laptop, so they were able to follow along and still do the assignment. She differentiated the instruction. It was a tiered assignment, so the first question she actually did with them, and she was the one doing the problem. And then 2, 3, and 4, she required the students to work on it, but she would walk around the room to monitor them to make sure they understood it. She also went over it several times to make sure that they knew what they were doing, where problems would come up if they were entering their data wrong. I'm not sure how she arranged the grouping, but it seemed like there was strong individuals and weaker individuals in the groups themselves, because several students would ask questions and the same group members would answer those questions. Her student engagement was pretty high. There were students working on their calculators, scrolling through their Blackboard to find the next problem. She was redirecting and encouraging students that were off task. There was a girl that was absent the day before, and she made sure to go over and help her specifically since she didn't know what the isotopes were. What went well? The students seemed to understand all the work. They worked hard to complete the problems. The setup of the classroom was good. All the students knew what their spirals were and how this was going to go into it. Things that I might have changed were there were problems that were too easy for some of the students. A lot of the students finished really fast all the math problems. I also noticed that Mrs. Thames talks really fast, and I had a hard time understanding at first what she was talking about because she speaks so fast and I'm not familiar with all the science terms. So she might want to slow down her speaking to some of the students. I was surprised how eager they were to please her, though. So she has a great relationship with her students. She was encouraging them, telling them that they were the smartest, that they knew this way too fast. She also had a good relationship. There was a boy that was crying right before class, and she did not let the rest of the students know that he was crying, but took some time to make sure he was all right. He got up and went to the bathroom at one point, but she never drew attention to him and really handled the situation well. She was really good at redirecting, and as an administrator, I feel like in the future I should keep in mind that this is just a snapshot of her class. So I would need to go in there multiple times to make sure that that redirection is still occurring, and that maybe this was an off day for those kids that were off task, and they are typically the ones that are always on task. And I think she did a great job, and it was really interesting to observe from an administrator's perspective.